do this. Go to YouTube dashboard. Edit. Need to share this with the cool people on the Discord. Yo, welcome to the stream, Gustavo Fring. Glad you can make it. Thank you for joining us. Today I'm working on a game I'm making. So yeah, it's gonna be a relatively chill stream. Um, I'm hoping to get some of the animations done, at least making them a little better, or at least making an animation controller to go between some different animations. I'm not great with Unity animation, so I'm not sure how difficult this will be, but we'll see. I'm gonna turn down my volume a little bit. Also, before I go ahead and open up Discord to send this notification to all the cool people on the Discord, I'm gonna go ahead and switch my background. All right, that way nobody can see my Discord. Haha. Now you can't see I'm a part of the Mayro Discord channel. Um, not sneak peeks, stream notifications at Notification Squad. Bones. That's the message. I'm just gonna say bones. Besides that, I'm planning on making some thumbnail. What is a skeleton? Wait, is it asking what is a Skeletower exactly? I think that's what you're saying. It's actually Streamlabs wasn't showing the whole message. What is a Skeletower exactly? It's a game I'm making where you play as two skeletons, and your goal is to climb the tower to go ahead and kill the person who killed you. You know, someone did kill you, and it's only fair that you kill them back. But yeah, you control these two skeletons, and you have the ability to either merge them together, or you can separate them. So think about it like Fireboy and Water Girl, except like way better. Also, if you hit a wall with your, like when you shoot out a skeleton, obviously they go pretty far. But if you go ahead and hit a wall, you'll actually ricochet back into you, and that'll go ahead and give you extra distance. So it sort of acts as a secondary wall jump. And also, yeah, normal wall jumping is here. So you can do some pretty cool stuff. But yeah, right now my main goal is, or the goal for today is twofold. Make the thumbnail, because right now I've just been using a default thumbnail. A rather large skeleton that you climb as a tower. Can you show us some games you made real quick? I can show some games. Let me go ahead and get some. Also, let me stop recording. I don't want to take up footage on my computer or storage space on my computer with footage. Oh, wait. Oh my gosh, I'm still on a way. Sorry for not switching back. All right, here, let me pull up my itch.io because that's where I have some of my other games. Just want to make sure nothing else is stupid here. All right. I'll go ahead and switch back to programming now. All right, here we go. So here are some of the other games that I made. Here's one, Ponpoco 3D. I made a video on this. It was a pretty fun game to make. You have a leaderboard. So yeah. But yeah, the actual game is pretty cool. It's based off the original arcade game, Ponpoco. It's pretty basic, but I tried to add more interesting things. I have some background elements, but I don't have them active right now, just because I think they're a little distracting. So yeah, I made this, but yeah, that was a remake of an old game. I made this for a game jam. This is Cloudbot. So here you can essentially act as tank controls. Here we go. Or it's not really tank control, it's first-person controls. And yeah, you can shoot clouds, you can suck them back up. I'm actually thinking about adding Cloudbot into Skeletower as like an actual obstacle, just like a regular cloud generator. But yeah, it's a pretty fun game, I think. This level is interesting because you only get one cloud, and you have to constantly suck it back up. So it acts sort of like a tutorial for this. Also, if you touch the water, you die. Or not necessarily die, but it sends you back to the beginning. Also, there's fun skips in this game like this. You can sort of see how you have to do it. Alright, there you go. Did I fix the Cloudbot camera controls? I don't think so. You remember Tevered? Go to that one. Tevered is the original plan for Skeletower. Or I should say that it became Skeletower. Here, let me go ahead and exit out. Please exit out. There we go. So yeah, this was going to be what Tevered was. Or Skeletower is what Tevered was going to be. Or kind of. I guess the best way to put it is I took the basic idea from Tevered to make Skeletower because Tevered wasn't going to be fun. Also, for some reason, it's not loading. Great. Please. Maybe. Perhaps. What if? Oh. Why is it taking so long to load? It's not like it's that big of a game. Alright, I'm just going to try to reload. Well, that's a bug. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to waste more time. But yeah, overall, 6 games. In terms of completeness or how good they are, I would definitely say that Pampoka is the best. They're in order. Extremophile is a few levels and it has some glitches, but it was made in 48 hours. Um, but honestly, it works okay. I made the physics engine for that, and that's why I think the physics engine in Skeletower is actually going to be good. POV Scratch. G4C, this was a game jam that I did. This was actually the first game I ever made, kind of. I think there was one that I made before this, but like out of stock Unity assets. This is the first one where everything is mine. It's pretty bad. Um, because this was like where I was learning programming. Okay, why can I not move? Okay, there we go. So essentially your goal is to go underwater and collect garbage. You gotta collect all this trash. And obviously you got that air meter at the top, and I died. And then you have Melancholy. I made this for a week-long game jam, but I just didn't have time to work on it. So, or really none of my group members had time to work on it. So it really just didn't go out well. That's why that's the last on the list. But yeah, play Pampoka 3D. It's a good game. Anyway, let's go ahead and make video game. It's time for it to be cool. Also, welcome to stream Rock Rough Runes Games. I didn't say hello to you, I don't think. Also, I had my screen messed up. Wasn't showing off the screen when I was talking about Skeletower. So yeah, you play as 2 skeletons, and you can move around, you can merge them, you can fire them out as essentially a bullet. Not really as a bullet, but you can... It's cool. If you hit a wall when you try to shoot out your skeleton, you'll ricochet off. And yeah, very cool. Anyway, right now, I'd say my biggest thing is that I want to get these animations better. Because right now, obviously there isn't any animations. Alright, so yeah. What I think I'm going to need to do for animations is, first of all, let's open up Blender. I think I need to actually export this as a FBX, and that'll create the things that I need. So yeah, if I go ahead and export this, I should just be able to do A. Something's weird. What in the world? Oh, it's because it's animated right now. Why is this so far back though? What the heck? Let's go ahead and what? Just what in the world is this? Yeah, why is the center of the object so far away from it? I don't know. All right. Let me make sure I'm not currently editing this. Oh, no, this is still in editing mode, kind of. So yeah, we need to push that down. So yeah, that's idle. This is idle 0. Wait, no, this is... Okay, I don't think idle is real. Because if I have that... No, that's real. If I have regular idle on... Okay, so they both work the same. You have both idle here, you have idle 0, 1 here, you have idle here, and then you have action stash down here. Have I played Pikmin 4 yet? No, not yet, I have not. I'm going to try to wait a little bit before I actually get it. I spent way too long playing Tears of the Kingdom, and I need to not procrastinate on making this game, so I'm just going to hold off on Pikmin 4 for a little bit, I think. Alright, so if I go ahead and select this, let's see what I can get, what information there is. So, this says strip modifiers. I should be able to delete that. Alright, so pose, A, pose, clear transform, all. That doesn't look right. I got Pikmin 1 and Breath of the Wild like 2 days ago. Pikmin 1 is fun. I agree. Pikmin 1 is very fun. So right hand is underneath armature. So I don't know. So if I save this first of all, and I go back in here, this should go ahead and make these skeletons go back to T-posing. Yeah. Now what I want to do is I'm actually going to go in here and I'm going to go ahead and select everything, file, export, and I'm going to export as FBX. All right. assets player, and I actually don't want to save. Um, I just want to save armature, mesh. Does this include animations? No, that's other things like that. I'm going to keep track of version numbers, so I'm actually going to put 1 here. V1 for version 1. It was kind of fun, but VR mode wasn't working well. Yeah, yesterday I just finished Tears of the Kingdom, to a percentage I'm happy with. I beat it a while ago, as any percent kind of. I literally stumbled into the final boss because I was trying to find a bunch of. I was trying to fill out the map. And I just stumbled into the final boss. And I was like, oh, this is the final boss, and then I killed him. Um, so, but because I was doing any percent at the time, I hadn't finished the game really. So I went ahead, did a bunch of more stuff, got all the Koroks, got all the caves, all the side quests, etc., etc. And then I went and beat the boss again. So last night I finished up finding out all of the caves, and I finished up. Yeah, I mean, Tears of the Kingdom was fun, but it really got monotonous at the end when going for 100%. I do not recommend going for 100% in Tears of the Kingdom. It's just like there's so much world to explore, which is great if you like exploring, but if you're specifically going for 100%, it becomes tedious. They didn't have Tears of the Kingdom, so you got Breath of the Wild. That's fair. All right, so let's see what this does. So we export U. Now if we go in here, this is player model version 1. So if we go into player, this has player model right here. So let's go ahead and replace this with player model 1. Now he should, unlike this one, which, wait, what? This is player model import settings. Hmm. I think what I need to do is I need um, to create a new animation or animator. I'm going to call this player animator. And what I think I'm actually doing is first I'm going to go back to using the regular player model. And now we should be able to animate it from here. If I don't have to use exportation and it'll just actually save, that's great. Yes, I did see how Pikmin invaded Times Square. I think that was hilarious. Like, and I love that it started off with the unhinged Olimar twerking, because truly that is just hilarious. Like, out of everything that the Pikmin community could have shown the world to introduce them to the Pikmin community, it had to be that. Which is, like, don't get me wrong, it's stupid. But that doesn't change the fact that it was funny. And from there, it just got more and more unhinged. Like, At least the twerking Olimar, that is a thing that someone made. And you could say, oh, that's an animation. But then it went ahead and just went to dumb shitposts like, oh, Boldman. But more than that, it was like, oh, here's Pikmin Rando. Just gameplay of it. And that's Pikmin. Why, hello there, Shellos to Shellos. I do not currently have Pikmin 4. By the way, do not spoil Pikmin 4 or you get banned. Don't spoil any bosses or anything. I know a little bit about it, like from what was in the demo. I haven't actually played the demo yet, though. But don't spoil it. $40 is $40. I mean, like that's surprisingly cheap. I thought it was gonna be like for Times Square to advertise. I thought it was gonna be like $200. The fact that it's only 40 is pretty dang crazy. I'm tempted to do something myself. All right, so let's go ahead and make some animation. So we need to create state. Um, let's actually try. First of all, I'm actually going to delete this. Delete that model, just so I don't get confused with this model right here. Now we're going to drag idle into here. There we go. And we should be able to have this loop, probably. The real question is, will it loop if I do this? Oh, it's just not even going to play. Okay. Oh, wait, did I add this? I did add the animator. Oh, wait, the problem is that I assume that it's because I don't have the animator in the right spot. Hmm. I think I might need to move it a level lower. Let's drag that there. See if that do it. No. Hmm. Maybe if I put it on the root, it'll work. Hmm. No. I'm kind of surprised that it didn't work. Okay. I think I'm going to try to open up. Um, I think I'm going to go ahead and open up this. And the reason I'm going to open up this is I actually did get a working animator when I made this. So I can see where I actually put this. This was a game jam that I was planning on working on, but because of surgery, I didn't get really a chance to do much on it. I did make the character model, though, in the animations. So let me see if I can find out how I rigged the character and got the animation to start playing. Let's see, what did I do? How did I make it work? Oh, it might not be rigged. That might be the issue. All right, so here we have scene. So here we have our guy. I have him under player. It's not character control. It's not under that level. It's under. No, it's not under that. Was it under animature? No, it's under this. So it's at the model level. So what that tells me is it should be right here. This is where it should work. So if I drag on this, this should be what works. But it doesn't. And this works here, right? Yeah. Yeah, here the animations work. They're buggy as hell, but doesn't change the fact that they work. Hmm. So looking at the player model, I mean, these are just the animations. However, of course, I do have the actual scene. What? Oh, wait, no, here. So I have these models when I actually turn it into an FBX. So maybe that is what it is. I literally take this, and this is because I'm using this model instead of this. Alternatively, it could be because I don't have it packed. Let me try unpacking the model first. I think that might be it. Um, Prefab, unpack completely. Unfortunately, if this is the problem, okay, it's not. That's actually a good thing because if it was a problem and I had to run this in stupid mode, that would be unfortunate. Because that means that whenever I made a change, I would have to change everything here. But that begs the question, why is this having a problem? Let's try putting in 2 and then make a transition between them. This way, there's always somewhere to go. No. Hmm. So I'm not really sure why this is having a problem. I mean, the bones are rigged to the model, so it should be working fine. I don't know, I don't really get it. Hmm. Let's go ahead and just try to export it. I'm just going to export everything. File, export, FBX. We're just going to try this again. Selected objects. Doesn't really matter. All local, sure, sure. So let's try exporting it again. Now, let's go ahead and delete this. We're going to go ahead and take version 1, put them in here. We're going to go ahead and prefab, unpack completely. We're just going to leave them as is. And then we're going to go ahead and throw on the animator. We're going to go ahead and use its animations. This is version 1, right? Yep. So we're going to go ahead and as you can see in the bottom right, this should, yeah, that's an actual clip. So we should be able to take this, bam, like that. I don't actually want to exit though. So now, if we go here, let's take this, throw the player animation on it. Now let's see what happens here. So it looked like it actually worked that time. If we zoom in, it does start with the animation. Now the question is, why did it do that? If I were to guess, it's actually because of this. If we look at this model right here, and we look at this idle, it doesn't actually idle. You see this in the preview? This idle isn't real. It can't hurt you. But because this idle isn't real, making it an animation doesn't actually do anything. This is actually a good piece of news, because what this should mean I should be able to do is I should be able to go ahead and delete you. I don't actually need the model. I just need to take player model, the regular one, which will automatically be updated, and then throw the player animation on here. And this should work. Okay, so it might not be working perfectly. I'll be honest, I have absolutely no idea why that did what it did. All right, so we can go ahead and exit out of this. This looks so ridiculous. So his shoulders look okay, but a lot of stuff looks messed up. So his head's okay, his clavicle, no. So for some reason, his sternum, I think? Yeah. That's up for some reason. His thigh is reaching back into his body. Both his thighs are. His thumb's in his middle of his body. So for some reason, this is unexpected. So if I were to guess the reason that that happened, it's because when you play the animation here, for some reason everything gets screwed up. If I go to animation here, you can see that if I play this, for some reason, all the bone positions are everywhere. Surprisingly, though, they're not where I expected. You know, these bone positions are way over here, where everything was really close together before. So one thing I want to try is using this player model. If we are able to use this player model, that is fine. This means we have to export stuff as we do stuff. So let's see how this works. So that actually works pretty well. That'll do. And just like that, we have animation. So that works kind of well. That'll do. So now we can actually start making some animation transitions. Of course, we need some more animations for that, but that's not too bad. Because now we know that if we go ahead and update this model somehow, as long as we export it to the same location, it'll work. Or at least it should. Let's go ahead and change something really quickly. Well, I guess it doesn't have to be anything major. Um, I don't know. Let's make a walking animation. How about that? I'm actually not sure which way I need to have this rotated. So let's go ahead and turn this on really quickly. Okay. So facing right from this position, and we can go ahead and just start by doing this. Go ahead and reset all of these positions. All right. So let's start making this running animation. So I think we're going to want to start with the legs coming up like this. I'm not going to make it really complicated. We are going to come back to make a better running animation later. So I think we're going to want to lower the center position a little bit. This is just so the feet stay on a constant plane. Let's actually see how low you are. So normally your feet are about halfway through this little plane right here. Okay. Unfortunately, we do have to start over because I did that, but now I know that you're halfway through that little piece of foot. All right, apply. No, clear transform. All. So we're going to rotate 90 on Z. Then we're going to lower you down like this. That way when we rotate the legs out. All right, bring this leg back. Thinking about where this takes place in a walk cycle. Yeah, this is going to be like right here. We actually want to, because this is this step. Whoa, this does not look right. Why is the center so far off? Okay, this isn't right. Hold on. Is it just a broke? It might just be because I rotated 90 degrees on the root. Hold on. If I clear transformed all. Yeah, I guess because this is actually far back. There's not much I can really do about that. Alright, whatever. That's fine. It's not that big of a deal. Yeah, we're only gonna bring it down a little bit this time. Not as far. So we're gonna rotate that, rotate that. So this is the impact frame of the step. As such, we're gonna do something like this. We're actually gonna want to rotate you a little bit this way. This way it gives more weight to this step. This is also where you're going to be probably leaning forward the most, so your spine should be a little bit more forward like this. Add a little bit of counter rotation to it. We're actually going to bring this radius down. I think that's the radius, I don't know. That doesn't look quite right. I think I need this to be more down and bring this more up. That looks weird. Thinking about a standard run cycle. Yeah, you kind of have your arms by your side, and then you have your upper arm, I guess, more up. Let's clear the transforms on these. I think they just look too weird. I'm actually going to shrink this on VZ. No, that's not a good idea. I shouldn't change the proportion of the bone. Not yet. I kind of wish I gave him a finger bone, so that way I could curl his hands. I'm not going to worry about that right now. So this shoulder is actually going to be slightly back. His hand's still going to be up. But it's not going to be like the other one. Just like that. Kind of want to give him a little bit of a wider stance, especially on that side. I think his thumbs should be up. I don't think this is good enough. I'm actually going to reset all of this. compose, clear transform all. It's actually going to come down like this, a little bit forward, and this is going to come up like this, and this is going to come up like this. This is actually going to be rolled around a little bit. Also, the music stopped for some reason. By the way, no one has guessed what this music is actually from. All right, overall, I think this is good enough. I'm going to go ahead and do whole character. And then I'll do whole character for this as well. And now we have a full character. So now we need to basically rotate him the other way. So he's taking a step the other way. We're going to rotate basically every bone. Bringing this out. It's going to rotate everything just a little bit, just so there's a little bit more movement. He doesn't feel stagnant. Whole character. It sounds like Pizza Tower? No, it's not Pizza Tower. What this is Fling Smash for the Wii. Get Fling Smash for the Wii. So yeah, not a bad walk cycle. Okay, that's a lie. It actually is a pretty bad walk cycle, but that's because I haven't added in the intermediate frames. So like, honestly, this is, how I would personally make a walk cycle. This is how I made Edward Schnitzel from Squirrel Chase game that I was going to make for the Game Jam, that I will never really talk about. Maybe I will, I don't know. I really did have some good ideas, I think, for it. I think I could have gotten it done if I hadn't had surgery, but it's not the end of the world. All right, so this is where he's bringing his right foot back. So at 20, his right foot should actually be slightly farther back than this. And it should be firmly planted into the ground. While his right foot should actually be farther up like this. And just like that, that's the beginning of it. Something looks off. This needs to be a little bit farther up. It's too down. It's too far down right now. Let me make sure this is good as well. Oh yeah, that ain't good. This needs to be a little bit lower. That's it! That's the Skeletower lost animation. That's just a bunch of cheap walk cycles. Honestly, one of the most creative jokes in SpongeBob. But yeah, again, this isn't going to be the final walk cycle. I'm just making a placeholder so I can test some stuff. One thing I do want to do is I want to take this right here and I want to make his mouth open repeatedly. We're going to go ahead and rotate it a little bit this way, just to give him a little bit of flavor. Open it again. There we go. And this will probably be sped up in the actual game. This is very slow for a walk cycle. Yeah, and then the actual episode I played after. I mean, how often do you, like, I gotta say, it's become more prevalent where people are actually showing off how they made games just due to the internet. Like, I've been watching a lot of stuff on just game development from people like, I know the guy who just made Fruit Ninja. He just started making videos on how he made stuff. The guy, obviously, you have Masahiro Sakurai. He started his How He Created Games channel. So peering into that world of actual development has been getting stronger and stronger. And I think that's pretty cool. Easy way to make more money. Yeah. All right, so this is where the right leg's going to be coming forward. So we're actually going to go ahead and start bending it forward like this. This is where this leg's going to be planted firmly. What I've learned when I was in high school, I was in a marching band, so I actually learned a lot about foot posture. Like, at what points does, like, what parts of a walk exist? So I'm not actually thinking back to, like, animation tutorials or anything. I'm just thinking about marching band. I think that's kind of funny. So yeah, that's not fluid. Yeah, it is too far. Oh wait, I'm stupid. Uh, no wonder it doesn't work. This is the pass. This needs to be moved up. That's the whole point of the pass. I'm wrong. Okay. I am on the wrong frame, unfortunately. That's a rather bit unfortunate. Oh, well, it's fine. I do not want to hide it. I would like to move you up. Trying to replace this 20th frame. Then we get here. I'm pretty sure this is where I'm moving my left foot back. So this should be straight. And this should be brought back a little bit. Just like that. See? Walking animation. I don't know why people say walking animations are so hard. Like, that was not that bad. I'm joking. Obviously, this is a pretty low quality walking animation. I only spent, what, an hour on it? Obviously, when I make the full game, when I get closer to actually releasing and I want to make the finalized character model, this will be significantly improved. But for now, this will work. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to... You hate making any animations? I've definitely gotten better at it, but I'm still not great. Like, I definitely think this could be better. Is this not your thing? Yeah. Everything just takes practice. I used to think that art wasn't my thing. It still isn't, but I can definitely say that I'm better at art now than I was. Then again, that mostly comes from 3D art, but I've I've done a little bit of art stuff since I made like I still remember my first time trying to make the Skeletower character, or not Skeletower at that point, it was Tethered, and I made the emoji in the Discord channel. I made the delete this please meme. That's where that's from. I or the delete this emoji in the Discord channel. That's from my first attempt at making a character design, and it just looks so bad. It looks terrible. So it all just comes down to practice. All right, let's go ahead and stash this. Neato burrito. So now what I want to see is if I go ahead and save, and I go ahead and export this, I go here, I go ahead and select everything, and I export as FBX, and I just override that other one. Will it understand? I think it might. But let's see what happens. Also, I think I can close this. I can close Squirrel Chase. Oh. Let me go ahead and clear all the... Let me clear the current pose. All file export FBX. There we go. Save, export. So it's saying that my animations will not play. Is that true? Looks like a lie to me. So cool. So Leia. Now, one thing I kind of want to do right now is I want to make a thumbnail for this video or for these streams. So far, I haven't actually done that. I've just been using a default thumbnail, and I want to make a thumbnail. So we're going to do that really quickly. We're going to go ahead and pose this dude. Actually, no, I'm not even going to pose him. I'm just going to make a standard... I'm just going to take a photo of him, essentially. Um, oh wait, Shift A, camera, view, camera to view. I'm just gonna get a photo of his face. All right. What is a YouTube thumbnail resolution? YouTube thumbnail size 1280 by 720 by 720. And we look at it through it now. That's fine. Good enough. I kind of want to move it a little bit farther away though. Um, hmm. Fortunately, yeah, but as long as it doesn't clip, it should be okay. Rendered. Change the background to black void. Let's go ahead and add in a spotlight. I need a light. I'm going to get rid of this after I'm done making the thumbnail. Rendering engine, set that to cycles. We want to decrease this, divide by 4. All right, save. Where's my save position? Temp, sure. Render image. Cool. Not too many more cycles to go. Obviously, I'll probably make a better thumbnail later. But I just want to replace the standard nothingness with an actual thumbnail. I'm actually going to go ahead and tab out of that really quickly so that way you can't see it. Haha, I want to make sure I don't accidentally... I guess it doesn't really matter. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. Oh well. So I'll call this thumbnail V1. All right, back to programming. There we go. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go back to material preview. We're going to go ahead and delete this, delete the camera. Only reason we made that was for that specific thing. Let's actually go into world, turn this back into a white void. That way you can actually see the model. I think I'm actually going to make it slightly gray. That way you can see the skeleton a little better. Yeah, you can't really see him much better. Unfortunately, because the skeleton is white, not much you can do. We obviously want to save that. Now we come back here. Nothing should have changed, except now we have the thumbnail. That is a really funny thumbnail. It looks better close up than far away because it looks so squashed right here. All right, let's go ahead and edit this. Error, YouTube is not receiving enough data. I'm not sure if YouTube is still running. I think it is, but okay, I'm getting an error. Hopefully everything is okay. Oh, I also need to add this to the um, playlist, the tethered playlist. It is? Yeah, okay. That's good to know, because yeah, YouTube was throwing an error, and that is very nerve-wracking. There might have been an error from a while ago, and that might be it. If I clear these and I go ahead and start playing, will it just ignore it? Wow, that is a very sad idle animation, but because you're so far away, it shouldn't really be that big of an issue. As long as there's just movement, it's fine. Certified YouTube moment. It truly is. You know, out of all the things I'd expect YouTube to do, be stupid is one of them. So, first of all, one thing I want to do is I want to make it to this loops. How can I do that? You would expect that, on this list of all these things that I can do, loop would be one of them, right? I think I actually have to go into here and then say, okay, yeah, it says loop or loop time. Does that mean it loops by automatic? I don't think it does. I thought it just did one. If I go into scene, yeah, it stops. So it's lying to me. It doesn't actually loop. Oh my gosh. Why isn't there just a loop option? Um, Unim, Unity animation loop. I'm currently running version 2021. Okay. Perks of using a custom engine. Like, I understand the idea of using a custom engine, but like, you think I want to make an entire engine just so I can make a game? I've done that before, kind of. Like, I haven't actually made my own custom engine, but something I did do is, I've done stuff where, oh, use the Game Boy engine, but you still have to make all the graphics, or make a graphics interface. And even that was annoying. I really don't want to go through the hassle. Not to mention, I'm not as smart as the people who made this engine. So why not just use their engine? All right, let's go ahead and do the next thing. What is the next thing? Next thing is um, all right. If I go ahead and click on this, I go ahead and select um, actually one thing I want to see. Okay, so idle still exists here. That's interesting that that exists there still, but no walk cycle. Like here you can see that now there's also walk. Just decompile the entirety of the Super Mario Galaxy, copy the engine, and there we go. And how to get copyrighted 101. I mean, to be fair, I am doing a lot of the stuff here on my own. Like, instead of using Unity's standard physics engine or standard gravity, I made my own gravity. Instead of using Unity's standard um, controller, I'm making my own sort of custom one. All right, so one thing I want to go ahead and do is this. If I go here, animation, here we go. I'm gonna go ahead and say loop time, set that to true. Something happened. It did not like me applying. Let's see if that worked though. Does not look like it. Let's see if I go ahead and replace. Well, I'll get rid of this player. This idle, it is. All right, so that didn't work, unfortunately. Loop time. Let's go ahead and reset it now again. Okay. So that didn't work. It is still playing, right? Yeah, it's still playing. However, it's not actually looping the thing that I want to loop. Oh, no wonder. Because the thing that says, oh, loop time and loop stuff, nope, didn't actually do anything. I'm on walk currently. But if I look at walk, it still isn't doing it. So this is a lie. So it's lying to me. Wait a second. If I go into assets, if I look through everything, this isn't creating new animations, right? Oh, I think I see the problem. I get it. I see. Okay, so the problem is I'm editing this specific clip. So I turn this into a walk that has these specific features, even though they don't matter. So I should be able to just remove them. Now if I select idle and walk, normally I can go ahead and say that, and then I can say this for walk. And now if I go ahead and delete this, if I go ahead and do that, just like that, it's working because the animations it saw now have a loop property. The problem is I was working on an animation that didn't actually exist or something. Or at least not the one that's idle. That explains it. Alright. That is very cool. Alright, so yeah, next up, let's make it so you can use the walking animation. Actually, first things first, let's go ahead and look at this. If we go over to walk, can we go ahead and increase how fast it is? What happens if we go ahead and make it 40? Well, first of all, we can actually pull this up. Okay, never mind, we can't. What happens if we make it 40, though? Actually, we shouldn't need to do this. We can just do this in the editor itself. If we go to animations, since like this, we can increase its speed to like 5. And this will do it automatically. They're rattling in their bones. They're rattling. Dang, this would be a great GIF. Just with this music. I guess it's not a GIF if it has music. They rattling though. Yeah, I'll go ahead and set that back to 1. Obviously, it doesn't need to be that high. All right, so let's go ahead and start adding some parameters. So I guess parameter 1 is going to be a bool, and that's going to be is walking. Then I'm going to go ahead and make a transition from here to, here I can just pull this from here, from walk, make transition, and we're going to want to make is walking is true. Is walking is false. I'm not sure if I want exit time or not, but we'll see. I think I actually want to put this into a subtree, but we'll worry about that in a minute. So first of all, if we go into scene, as you can see, they walking now. Obviously, you probably want them to walk a little bit faster. So we can do that, though. We can go ahead and set its speed to maybe 3. They hustling. They schmoovin'. Dang, Fling Smash got some really fitting music for this. I know, I'll steal it. No one will ever know. I'm joking, I'm making my own custom music for Skeletower and it's gonna be glorious. Speaking of music, I've been working more on the PvZ remixes a little bit. They see me walking, they talking. I'm not gonna. They won't let me ride with them because I have calcium deficiency. I don't know. All right. Anyway, now we need to actually make our script work with this. So we know that our animator is right here. As such, we need a way to communicate with our animator. We should be able to go into our player and then go ahead and select. Let's open up you. Am I enjoying Visual Studio? I'm really tempted to just go through this right now and just leave it a 1 star because it interrupted my stream. All right, cool. We have controller. So player controller. Components. We'll go ahead and throw this in here. Private animation controller. Okay, it's not called animation controller. Anim. Let's see. Animator. Okay. And we'll call this player animator. I'm really creative. All right. Now what we should be able to do is down here when we're getting everything. Do we not have a way of selecting every bone? I guess we don't. I thought we did. We look at player. We have player controller. Hmm. So what am I gonna do? I guess the player's only ever going to have one shot. Wait, no. If I make a second, if I go ahead and merge the two players, now, yeah, now they have two. In that case, I should make the reference in the actual editor. Alternatively, I could just make this serialized. I guess I will. That's fine. Did it pause my music again? It did. We're pretty close to finishing the playlist of all the Fling Smash music. Out of all the things for me to be listening to tonight, that's what I am. I'm not sure how I feel about that. Alright, anyway. One thing I do want to do is I want to go ahead and change this animator. Remove the is walking. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go over here to if jump input detected. Where do I do the movement? This should be it. Oh, wait. Here it is. If current direction magnitude is over 0. So we're going to go ahead and make it player anim dot set bool is moving. Did I make it capitalized? I did. So this is walking. I think I'm actually going to make it lowercase. It makes more sense for it to be lowercase than uppercase, honestly. Set that to lowercase. If setbool is walking, we need to actually set it to true. And then we'll just throw here an else statement. Else. And here we're just going to set player animator dot set bool is walking. We're going to set that to false. There we go. And the reason I'm using is walking instead of like is moving is because if you're falling through the air, I don't want you to be walking in air. So I'll have a falling animation for that. So yeah, that should work. Now what happens if you're walking and then you dash? That actually shouldn't matter because this will get automatically into the else. There might be a frame where you're not walking though. This should be okay. Let's try it out. If we do that, we're going to go over to player. Player. We need to give it its animator. We should just be able to drag this over here. And of course, it is taking a very long time for it to snap. All right, let's see if I can figure out these stupid, dumb things. Why is there 2? Let's turn off exit time to start. Let's see if this actually fixes everything. So the only thing is when you're turning around, then you have a slight problem. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to say if player velocity, player rigid body dot velocity is less than I'm just going to say, yeah, greater than or equal to 0.05 f, then do nothing. We'll actually say not, or I'll just say less than. But of course, I need to say dot magnitude. There we go. And just like that, now we should have a working animator. Okay. So now the animator's always running for some reason. If player rigid body dot magnitude dot velocity dot magnitude is less than, I mean, what? Like even when I stop moving, it's still running, which shouldn't be happening. So if current direction magnitude, what this should mean is that your magnitude is never going below 0.05, which doesn't make sense. We'll increase it for now. Let's just say 0.5. Let's see what happens if I do this. Obviously, this is a magic number, which isn't good, but this is just for testing. Okay, so that didn't work either. If the velocity dot magnitude is less than or equal to 0.5. Yeah, I'm not doing that though because I don't want to deal with UI. All right. So let's set this to 10. Make sure I'm not being stupid. Or just to see, make sure, it actually does recognize the velocity. I don't see how it couldn't, but, maybe it's dumb. That honestly didn't look too bad. Let's go ahead and decrease it a little bit. That way there's a little bit of time where you're still running. Also, welcome back, Gustavo. Glad you can make it. So, there's still exit time leaving. Feels like there's still exit time. Hmm. Ah, here we go. Transition duration. Let's set this to 0.1. Let's actually set this to 0. This should make things way too snappy, but it should be okay. Coronavirus emotes. True. So yeah, this is really snappy, but it's better than it not being here at all. The good news is that's how you actually fix it. I didn't know that. So that's nice to know. So transition duration, let's set that to 0.1. Let's see how that looks. But yeah, so that's animations. I really like this movement ability of being able to basically climb any walls as long as you're good enough at the game. Obviously, it's kind of broken, so I might have to limit it, but we'll see. All right, play Forest Naval from Pikmin 1 music. You know what? Sure. The next soundtrack I'll put on is Pikmin 1 because it is a cool soundtrack. I always like some Pikmin music. All right, but first, well, wait, how much do I have left of this? There's like 4 pieces of music and like 5 minutes worth of music. Okay, maybe a little more than that, but yeah. So that should happen really quickly. One thing I'm gonna do is player animator dot flip. There should be like a flip thing. Hmm. Could have sworn there was. I thought there was a flip ability where you could flip the entire model. Am I mistaken? Hmm. I could have sworn that was a real thing. I guess technically one thing I could do is literally flip the entire model, but I don't think that's smart. I could flip it all over on the x-axis. That's not the right way to do it though. Also, I think I'm going to bring this down to 0.05. Same thing for this. Make it a little bit snappier. But yeah, I could have sworn there was the ability to flip the model. Mirror. Let's see if this works. Let's look this up. Unity mirror animation. Okay. I guess I could try this just here. Have I played Paper Mario for Wii? Yes, I have. I have, in fact, played Super Paper Mario. I even did a challenge on it where I tried to beat it without coins. So if I set this to -1, does it still look okay? That's the question. It does. Neat. You should do at least 3D presses. Um, Only thing about 3D presses is it's like a lot of it would. I don't think it's a bad idea. Only thing is I don't want to deal with it just because fuddly. I don't want to have to do 100 fuddly jumps to get over some dumb gap. I don't think it'd be that big of a deal though. Eh, like thinking about it, would it be that bad? I mean, if you stayed in 2D, no, you can't do that through loading zones. Never mind. And there aren't a lot of glitches, so it could be interesting. I mean, especially since you can, clip through most objects with a gold bar. So, could be interesting. I have so many open challenges that it could be good. That I don't think I'll be able to do it anytime soon, but maybe. All right, it's time for the Pikmin OST. I accidentally typed in OST again, so it's Pikmin OST OST. That's what I looked up. OST squared moment. Which is the best pixel in general or for um, that challenge? Because for specifically minimum 3D, I would probably say Fuddly because Fuddly jumps are dumb. But in general, I'd probably say Carry. You just move too slowly normally, and this is just a permanent speed boost. Not to mention it makes you able to avoid spikes and spiky enemies. So yeah, I'd probably say Carry. Alright, so let's see what is up next. So we can mirror him by doing this, by changing his scale between 1 and -1. Of course, this does mean that I have to... Well, can I do this? What if I just say transform dot scale? And I would rather use the actual model. So I should probably do this. Serialized field, private, not provit. What's a provit? Private, game object, player, model. Dash'll carry it, in my opinion, but the best. Slim Shady and Dottie. Dottie's not that good. Like, sure, you're invisible to most enemies, but like, okay. At the same time, you're slow. I mean, you're not that slow, but still. I like going fast. Granted, yeah, Dash'll's better than Carry, but I never really bother with Dash'll. Because with Carry, at the very least, you can just do you can, avoid spikes and water and a couple of hazards. Just makes dealing with enemies easier. With Dash'll, don't get me wrong, you go faster, but at the same time, it's a little less useful for gaps. So I just find Carry more useful in general. All right, so yeah, here we're going to go ahead and say player model dot transform dot local scale times equals um, vector free dot right times -1. Okay. Operator cannot be used between types vector free and vector free. Well, that's stupid as hell. All right. In that case, player model dot transform dot local scale times. Oh, just can't multiply two vectors together. I guess that does make sense. These technically they're vectors, and vectors are matrices, and you can't multiply two matrices together. Yeah, I know. Real best pixel is Barry. Nah, no way. All right, so how do I do this? I need to multiply the x component of it. There we go. Oh, wait, but no, because that sets it. Oh my gosh. All right, never mind. We're going to go ahead and say this. We're going to say equals new vector free. We're going to say player model dot transform dot local scale. You know, I'm actually going to make a separate variable for it just right here. And it's just going to be a vector free. Vector free. And no, it's not worth it. I only use it once. So we're going to set it to local scale dot x equals or multiplied by either -1 or 1, depending on whether your curve direction is positive or not. And this gets the absolute vector. Oh. Unfortunately, this is more math. Curve direction is actually just the absolute vector. Yeah, that's not going to give me direction, unfortunately. Damn it. One chain chomp boss in 7-2. It's not even like that boss is that hard. Like, just Bowser. Alright, so curve direction. Curve direction is your input. However, I cannot trust that because, of course, I can't. This is because if you're upside down, then your animations would be backwards. You would be going right when you're supposed to be going left, etc., etc. Now, I could leave in a special sort of edge case, but I'm not going to be lazy like that. I want to make this actually consistent. So how do I do this? I need a way to basically detect, okay, are you walking? Or which direction are you walking in? I should have some vector math functions here. Wait, why do I have a magnitude of vector function? Don't I already have? Can you just do that normally with a vector? Could have sworn you could have done that normally with a vector. Yeah, curve direction dot magnitude. Hmm. Super Paper Mario best Mario? Honestly, true. I would agree with that. I played um I've played Thousand Year Door, a little bit of the original Paper Mario. I haven't played that in a long time though. I played Color Splash, Sticker Star, and Origami King, and I gotta say, Super Paper Mario's peak Paper Mario content. I thought of doing a challenge with that wheel, where people have already done the Merly's Mansion, except you pay off the debt um, with the wheel instead of going to the vault. But honestly, I kind of want to do a challenge where I just pay it off by hitting the block. That's the only thing I'm allowed to do. No spending any rubies or anything. Well, I guess I'm allowed to spend rubies. I'm just not allowed to buy the code. Not necessarily. I'm pretty sure you can clip through the wall with like slim and gold bars or something. Yeah, I've played Thousand Year Door, and I would say that was one of its biggest issues, backtracking. Because not only just normal backtracking, you also had like every game has backtracking, but oh my gosh, Creepy Steeple just killed me. It was just like, okay, you got hit by the Amazy Daisy, deal with that now. All right, go ahead and you went ahead and triggered the dupless. Now you have to go run back and go to the Creepy Steeple again, then get the name, then come back, then that wasn't as fun. Overall, I do like Thousand Year Door though. I think it's a good fun game. I wish I would re-release it. But yeah, I would say Super Paper Mario is better in my opinion. Most of the time. There are obviously some misses in Super Paper Mario. Like, don't tell me you liked the stupid block puzzle um in the Land of Crag, I think it was called. The prehistoric level where you have to put in like a 50-digit passcode. They don't want people to realize how the older games were better than the newer ones. Yeah, but they put Pikmin 1 and 2 on Switch. And they have the NES and SNES libraries. All of Super Paper Mario and Origami King. I do think that the other Paper Marios do have some merit, but yeah, I'd say I don't. I would say in general, my list of Paper Marios would probably go. Favorite is um probably say it's Super Paper Mario, then Thousand Year Door. Then I would probably say I really can't place regular Paper Mario because I haven't played it all the way through. I played like the first chapter and maybe a half. Um, yeah, that's true. Pikmin didn't fall off. But yeah, then I would say out of the last three Paper Marios, I'd probably say honestly, I think I might like Color Splash more than Origami King. I don't know. Like Olivia's just annoying. Looking back on it, I don't have many fond memories of her. There were at least some interesting enemies in Color Splash, just like the rhinos and whatnot. So I might say it's Color Splash Origami King Sticker Star, or it might be Origami King Color Splash Sticker Star. You know, I played Color Splash a lot when I was doing like the Nuzlocke challenge. Which Paper Mario world on Wii is the best? Hmm. Looking back through the worlds, like I think you'd have to say bottom tier is um, Land of Craig or Land of Crag. Long minecart sequences. Don't get me wrong, they're funny for the first time, and then they're just okay. I get it. It's a minecart. Um, then you, so I'd say Land of Crag is last for that and the block puzzle. Um, Second worst is probably going to be um over the what's the place called? Not the Samurai Kingdom. That's what it is. Don't get me wrong. I get the story implications of a Samurai Kingdom, but it's just a bunch of fights. It's just not. It's not a full chapter, and it's treated as a full chapter. Yeah, the Woe Zone is pretty cool. Would I call it the? I'm not sure what I would say is the next worst world. Um, Maybe World 1, honestly, just due to the backtracking. You know, it's not that interesting after you played it once, but it is somewhat interesting. So I don't know if I would say that. Um, no, I think I would say World 4 is probably the worst because you have a backtracking level and then two of the levels are just um the shmup, the very easy shmup. What else? After that, I guess I would say World 1, then World 2, then World 3. I don't know. All right, let's get back to this. I need to get some actual progress. So first thing I want to do, I want to make it so that I can tell, okay, is this in the direction of, hmm, I guess what I can do is I can say, take gravity, rotate it 90 degrees counterclockwise, then see if my direction is perpendicular or not to that. Or alternatively, I could just take the gravity. So what I can do is I can say, um, if, so I want to say vector math dot angle between, I want to say gravity, direction, and the current direction. So I do internal multiplication by what? Absolute vector. So that gives you a flat plane. Oh, I see. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. But because that gets fixed, that's fine. I was just wondering what this line did here. What this line essentially does is it makes it so if you're holding like upright, instead of your current direction being 45 degrees, it will go ahead and make it so your angle is 0. It removes the y component essentially. Oh yeah, game over world. I'm using delta time, right? Yes. All right, so angle between gravity direction and curve direction. And if I go ahead and look at angle between, um, answer is so if gravity is down and my direction is right, if my direction is anywhere from 0 to, or I should say, okay, I can do this. If this, and this says in radians, right? Yeah. So what I can say is, if I am a half pi half radians, so if the angle between is greater than pi math dot pi, let me just double check, make sure I don't have any other. Yeah, that works. So I should be able to say if this is, there's a Pikmin reference in 4.2. Wait, there is? In 4.2 of Super Paper Mario? I don't see it. Of a red, blue, and yellow dudes. Also, World 4 is a space world, so I think you're thinking of the wrong world. All right. Anyway, so what we can say is math pi dot divided by 2, and it is less than, no, it's right world. What? Oh, wait. I was thinking of the red, yellow, and blue old dudes in 7-2 in the over there. Or not 7-2, 7-4, or 7-3, I don't remember which. I think it's 7-4. It might be 7-3 though, where you build a rainbow bridge. Alright, so what I essentially just did is now if your angle between is greater than, it's basically, never mind. No, I'll say it. If the angle between the gravity and wherever you're pointing is basically to the left, of the gravity, then it'll say it's negative. So this is when it'll set um, your player model dot transform dot local scale dot. Can I flip it? No, I have to say equals new. Oh wait, I can use internal multiplication, I think. Oh wait, no, we get that only works for vector tree. Alright, so I can just say new vector free x. I wish that you could just change dot x. I wish you could just set the x value to 1 or something like this. Sucks that you can't. X. Oh, wait. Math f dot absolute value of this. Times -1. Set that to y. And set this to z. There's got to be an easier way to do this. You know, I'm going to do this here. I don't care. You just beat Pikmin 4? Nice job. At least the Paper Mario series constantly has good soundtracks. Yeah, that's true. I can't argue with that. I always like some Paper Mario. I'm just going to delete this whole line. All right, so we're going to say player model dot scale transform dot local scale equals vector math dot internal multiplication, and we're going to bring in local scale. Player model dot transform dot local scale, and then we're going to bring in -1. Oh wait, no, we can just literally do that. New vector 2 or vector free. And this is going to be -1, 1, 1. There we go. Flip model to face direction of movement. there two R's in direction? I feel stupid. I don't think there are. There aren't. I'm stupid. There we go. Why did you hurt Pikmin 4? Oh, wait. Of course I can't actually do this. I can't actually use this, damn it. This would actually fail because if I'm holding left, now it's just going to be constantly flipping it. I guess I could just use vector math dot absolute value. And of course I have now a vector 2, which is not correct. I need to set that to vector free. I think I'm going to do this in multiple steps actually. That's just too sloppy. The second the end. What? Don't spoil it. All right, so now we're going to do is going to do this. We're going to say um, cur scale. We're going to say this is going to be equal to player model dot local scale transform dot local scale. That way we don't have to keep on inputting that. Then we're going to say player model dot transform dot local scale equals and then we're going to say new vector free. And we're going to say vector math vector math dot why do I need to do this? No. I just need to say math f dot absolute value of cur scale. Also, I use, do we have our thing? I only use one R when I say cur in this application. So cur scale. All right, so absolute value cur scale dot x times actually I'm gonna make a float here. Float cur scale x equals, and then it's gonna be this. That way this doesn't take up as much space. Equals cur scale equals mathx times is right um, and if it is right, so I'm going to use a ternary, then it's going to be 1 then we're going to have cur scale dot y, and then we're going to have cur scale dot z. As you can tell, my brain is dying rapidly. Hopefully, I am able to get some more progress tonight, considering I haven't done that many streams on Skeletower recently. Hopefully this works and doesn't break everything. Don't spoil Pikmin 2. Oh, I never assigned a player model. Whoops. Don't spoil Pikmin 2. Ah, so it is backwards. Great. So it is right. So if my gravity dot direction is either less than that or it's greater than... Wait, what? How? What in the world? Apparently to this. First of all, this should just be times 3. Oh, wait. Oh, I'm dumb. I think I can delete this entire half of this. I just need to say, is it greater than pi over 2? Or pi? There we go. Alright, see you, Gustavo, as well as Shellos. Have a good one. I'll probably end the stream, not too soon, but in a little bit. maybe in about an hour or so. Also, there we go. We have accurate animations. I need to fix this camera, but it'll work for now. But hey, we got some animations. They're very basic animations, but they're animations nonetheless. Cool. I think it's about time we make the explosion. Did not mean to do that. Can I get out of this mode? There we go. So one thing I want to see is if I go ahead and absorb the player. So does the heart ever separate? Player 1, player model V1. So I want to follow the heart. No, the heart does not ever separate. Which is fine. Alright, cool. So that should make this relatively simple. All I need to do is basically take everything here that isn't the heart and put it into a list. The heart or the armature. Now I could do this automatically or I could do this manually. Probably be easier to do it automatically, but then I could write sloppy code. Alternatively, I could just do it manually. I don't know, it should be easier. Really. I think I'm going to just try to make a... I think I'll just serialize it. It doesn't really matter. Serialize field. Private. And we're going to call this... It was going to be a game object. Array. And it's going to be called bones. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to say that if you self-destruct, your state is dead. That's one thing I have to ask myself. Do I want to put a rigid body on every single bone? I guess I technically have to. So we're going to say start for each bone game object bone in bones, we're going to say bone dot add component, and we're going to add a rigid body. Okay, it does not like adding a rigid body. System dot type dot rigid body. That didn't work. New rigid body. A new expression requires an arguments list. Oh. Cannot convert from rigid body to type. Okay then. Dot type. That's not what I want. I'd like you to define the type part of this, please. Maybe create component. I have that wrong. Create. Instantiate? No. Add component. It says there's two different things here. Ah, that's what I'm forgetting. Rigid body. There we go. That's what I was forgetting about. And we're actually going to make a rigid body dot. We're just going to call it, first of all, like that. We're going to call this bone rigid body. There we go. Equals bone dot add component. I'm pretty sure, yeah, this does return that rigid body that it creates. So now I can go ahead and say bone rigid body. How do I get the heart? If player would. Okay, that is the wrong way to get it. Okay. So bone rigid body should probably be capital R for naming convention. A better job with the Pikmin switch ports. I haven't played the switch ports, so I don't know how bad they are. I've seen some glitches though, like where you throw a Pikmin and they just go flying. It's super broken. Like, is it Pikmin 1 levels of broken, or is it like a new level of broken, like even more than just what was in Pikmin 1? All right. So bone rigid body dot enabled. That's not enabled. I would like to say enabled. Enabled. Not there. That's the same level of broken. Okay. That's fine then. They didn't screw it up further. So can't say enabled. Um, active, maybe? No, that's not it. Oh, it's kinematic. equals true. And remove a song or two and change the brands. Yeah, it's a shame that the licensing got messed up. I really like. I normally don't like product placement. I think it's really sad. Like when you see, oh, the new Madden game came out, and now you get to really experience the football by having to sit through ads in your $70 game. Like, bruh, that's not no. But on when you're exploring Earth and this is supposed to be a desolate place and you're seeing the remnants of humanity, and you see like, oh, well, this is a random Duracell battery. That's something that I can recognize. Wow, that's crazy. That's not a real promotion of Duracell. It's a thing that connects you to the realism of the world. So it is a shame that they lost that. I'm glad I have Pikmin 2 on disc. Physical media, let's go. I think I'm going to do this actually. I'm going to go ahead and say for each game object or transform, yeah, transform child in um, player model dot transform dot get children. No, I'm not asking for components in children. I'm getting all children. Can I just say children? No, I'm not allowed to do that. That would be too useful. You know, you'd think they would make it so you could just get a list of all the damn children in a node. But nope, that'd be too easy. All right, in that case, we're going to set this to a for loop. For int I equals 0. I is less than player model dot get child count. All right, where's child count? Or I guess transform dot child count. And then plus plus I. Kidnapping. I mean, that's what it's called. It's get child method because it's a parent child tree. That's how a tree works. All right, so we're going to say if first of all, I'm actually going to say this. I'm going to remove the serialized field part of this. So I'm going to say bones. So start bones equals player model dot get component or dot transform dot child count. And I'm going to say -2. That actually is the length, so I'm going to need to say new game object array. And that'll be its size. Of course, it deleted my semicolon. I think I had a semicolon there at least. Okay, now what we're going to say is if I'm just going to make it the game object. Game object cur game object equals player model Oh, wait, but I also have to keep track of if I've... Oh my god! Ugh. Alright, so we have to also include an int skips equals 0. Looking at player model I have to say player model dot transform dot get child. I know. What do you mean I can't just get to I'm using brackets instead of that. And of course I have to say dot game object, not get child. I said game object. So now I have the game object that I'm looking at. And now I have to say if cur game object dot name equals heart. Pretty sure that's what I call it. Do I have a capital or do I not? I do in fact have a capital. Skips truly a regular show moment. Whoa. No. Also, I said equals, not equal like an idiot. So if it's heart, then I'm going to say heart equals current game object. And I'm going to increase skips by 1. The reason I have skips is so that way when I'm inputting the bones, because there's less spaces for bones and not bones, I need to have this. So yeah, I'm also going to need a skips for armature. Else, if cur game object dot name equals armature, pretty sure that's what I call it. Yep. So if it's called armature, then I also skip. It does nothing. It just skips. Plus skip. Oh, I should just be using a switch statement. Switch dot switch cur game object dot name. This is atrocious code right now. It must be cleaned. Switch current game object dot name. Oh, and I do need curly braces here. There we go. What do you mean? Control cannot fall through. That's like the whole point of a switch statement, you idiot. That's literally the whole point of a switch statement. The fact that it can fall through. Does it, is it really breaking because I can't just have, do I need to have a break? Okay, this is stupid. That defeats most of the purpose of a switch statement. What I wanted is for it to fall through from here down to the skips, still do the skips, and then break. But fine, I guess I won't do that. Default, break. Um, then we're going to go ahead and add in a bones I plus skips equals player or equals current game object. All right. Anyway, so that works, I guess. Is this a C sharping? No. I mean, I'm pretty sure I've done fall through before in C sharp. So, I don't know. It might be a Unity thing, if anything. Either way, it's stupid. All right, anyway. So this should give me a list of every bone in a game. And then I can immediately actually just do this. That'll add a rigid body to every bone. And there we go. So now, when we start up the game, we should be able to see index was outside the range. That sounds really weird because it shouldn't be that way. First of all, let's see which one it is. It says outside the bounds of array. Oh, wait. This should be minus skips, not plus. So now, if we go ahead and select player, we can now see that it has a, actually we can't see it. Should not be capturing when there is a hot control. I don't know what that means, nor do I really care. Animations are working, that's good. All right, so I think we're going to need to make another script for the bones to make it so they can be launched. Do I really though? Not really. So if state is normal, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to say for each bone or game object bone in bones. I'm going to say bone dot parent or dot transform. That's not transform. I would like transform now, please. Dot parent equals null. That's the first thing I want to do. I just want to see, does this work? So it says when dead. K-state normal, K-state dashing. Where's the dead state? Oh, I guess there isn't a dead state. Any engines made in C++? I don't know. I guess there probably are. I mean, I know there's like, I guess it's not really an engine for the Game Boy Advance. I don't know. I haven't really looked into it, but I'm sure there are. Maybe like RPG Maker, I think is one that might be in C Sharp or C++, I mean. I'm not entirely sure. So yeah, first thing I want to see is if I make this, will it go ahead and detach all the bones? Did not, which is very interesting. The bones are still connected. Why is that? I guess it's because of this. This root bone. Unreal Engine? Really? Dang. That's a shame. I'd rather use C Sharp than C++. I've done a little bit of stuff in C++, but very slightly, mostly reading other people's code. And it was not very fun. I don't like C++ very much. All right, so bone dot root. No, I can't do that. Root bone is a part of skin mesh renderer. Dot skinned. I guess I need to get component. Get component dot skinned skinned mesh renderer dot root bone equals null. This now should make it so all the bones get left behind. No, it didn't. Okay. Sure. So changing that didn't do anything. Is there a dot enabled or anything? Let's see what this will do. This should actually make it disappear. Just as I thought, it makes it disappear. Huh, but that's weird. Let's go ahead and remove this. So, one interesting thing is that normally your position never changes. Wait, does it? Why does your position never change? I'm on player 1, or player 2 technically, because player 1 is player 0 and player 1 is, you know what I mean. But its position never changes. That's very interesting. And then as soon as I go ahead and do that, so it's 21.992 right now. So what happens if I go ahead and restart? Now it's 3.22. Okay. So right now it's 3.22 or whatever. And if I go ahead and walk over here or something, now it's negative 9.279. Okay. I see what's going on. So when you have a skinned mesh, it doesn't actually update your actual position when you're moving the bone. It's the renderer that does it for you. So the foot's position doesn't actually matter. And you can see that if I go ahead and select this foot right here, I'm changing its X value, but it doesn't move, probably. Let's select another thing, a foot R. We move it on to Y, doesn't move. We select hand, move it on to Z, doesn't move. And the reason it doesn't move is what happens is your thing, what essentially happens is Unity goes ahead and says, okay, we have this thing right here. We have this bone. And it has a skin mesh renderer. As such, first, we know we're essentially putting this bone on top of another bone. And we're just going to be offsetting it by some amount, but that's through weight painting, right? Okay. So that means the way we fix this is we essentially add a second renderer, and we just toggle between the two. Now, what I assume is happening is when you go ahead and this actually is, yeah. So what I'm assuming is happening is when you go ahead and self-destruct, or when you go ahead and remove all these from the transform, what happens is their position gets updated to where the position is. Okay. So what this means I should need to do is, if I turn on another renderer, and it should work. So what I should be able to do is this. I go ahead and say bones. Oh, I can just say current game object. Current game object dot add component, and we're going to be adding a mesh renderer. Not a skin mesh renderer, but a normal mesh renderer. And what this should do is, first we need to set its mesh. So we're going to say this is going to be bone mesh equals, and of course we have to say mesh renderer. So now we have our mesh renderer, right? So now what we can do is we can say bone mesh dot mesh. Okay, I can't say dot mesh, but I should be able to. Why am I not able to say dot mesh? Bone mesh dot. Okay, apparently I'm just not allowed to access the mesh. Sure, why not? Wait, dot renderer maybe? No. So mesh doesn't work, even though it should. I could have sworn mesh was a real thing. Yeah, like this has mesh. Mesh renderer. Dot material. Okay, that's weird. Let's add a box. Well, actually, let's click on this. We have a mesh renderer. Ah, mesh filter. That's the issue. I need both a mesh renderer and a mesh filter. So with a skin mesh renderer, let's see how that works. I have both a mesh as well as all the materials. So essentially what I'll need to do is I'll need to add both a mesh renderer and a mesh or material thing. Okay. So bone mesh.materials equals current object dot get component, and we need to get the it's not scalable, skinned. So we get the skin mesh renderer here, and then what we're going to do is we're going to say dot materials here, and bam, now we copied them over. Now what we need to do is we need to do the same thing basically for the mesh. So what we can do is mesh renderer, mesh or mesh filter, bone mesh. All right, I'm going to change this to renderer actually. Or bone mesh renderer. And just like that. Renderer, renderer. Oh, I didn't capitalize the M here. Bone mesh filter. And now what we can say is this. Bone mesh filter equals cur game object dot add component mesh filter. Then we can say bone mesh filter dot mesh equals cur game object dot get component skin mesh renderer, and we're going to turn off dot mesh, or we're going to get dot mesh. So now what should happen is this should now give me two models, the real model and the fake model. The real model will be stuck in place. I guess it is still parented to the original model. But now, you see how the skeleton's here? That's exactly what we want to see. So what we're going to do is we're essentially going to leave this little guy here. So we're essentially just going to toggle between using the skin mesh renderer when we want to have, actual animations. And then when we want to do procedural stuff like making yourself explode, that's when we're going to go ahead and turn off the skin mesh renderer. So because it's not going to use rigging, it doesn't matter. We're going to turn on the regular mesh renderer, and then we're going to go ahead and make that explode. Now, one thing I do need to do is I need to say that the um, bone mesh renderer dot enabled dot enabled equals false. So this will be false by default. Then when we go ahead and do this, um, player state is normal, does all this. Wait, what? So yeah, here we go. So skin mesh renderer is off, but then we turn bone dot get component. Then we're gonna say the mesh renderer dot enabled equals true. Bone dot um, get component rigid body I'm actually going to go over here and just say that rigid body, bone rigid body equals, and then I'm going to go ahead and make it non-kinematic, bone rigid body dot is kinematic equals false, and then bone rigid body. The good thing about this is this means whenever I update my model, I don't actually have to worry about redoing stuff. That's the main thing I'm worried about is my workflow. This should really make it so, because everything's just on automatically, it's a really nice workflow. All right, so now we're going to set a velocity or add explosion force. So I need a float for explosion force. I'll just say 1,000 for now. And we'll wait to do this actually. I'm going to check to make sure this works first. So when you go ahead and explode now, you should actually just fall apart. A new skeleton should spawn, or you should basically turn into your T-posing skeleton, and it just falls apart. I just realized I need a collider as well. So now we're going to go ahead and make a collider. Maybe mesh collider? Yeah, mesh collider. Bone mesh collider equals curve game object dot add component, mesh collider, and then we're going to say bone mesh collider equals, wait, no, I need to say dot enabled equals false. Then set it to true over here. Where is it? Should be like right here. Yeah. Bone rigid body equals this. Is kinematic equals false. I'm also going to say bone. Let's say yeah, bone dot get component. And a component I need to get is the mesh collider dot enabled equals true. I should probably move this up to be with the other dot get component enabled. So I'll do that. And now the bones should not just flop everywhere. Unfortunately, this will probably add a bunch of lag. Did not, but it also didn't work. If I were to guess, the mesh collider might have its own specialized thing, sort of like how a skin mesh does, which is weird because that defeats the purpose of a filtered mesh, but whatever. Let's actually just run it again and just see what it does. Mesh collider. Mesh, yep. Ah. So now what we need to do is basically just add on the mesh. So bone mesh collider dot, first of all, I'm going to set convex to true. This will make it less laggy. Isn't it a bit weird to live stream coding a game? Yes. Thanks for asking. Doesn't mean I'm not going to do it though. I want to, truthfully, the reason I am live streaming it is because I want to be able to show people, hey, this is how you can do some cool stuff. Help some people understand if they don't understand programming. Give them some advice on how it works. Of course, I'm not the best programmer in the world, but I think I can at least help teach a little bit. Plus, I think it's just interesting in general. Also, free content. Haha. I mean, it's not really free content. I'm making a game. I don't know. Plus, it gives me an excuse to stream. So what's the next thing I need? I need .mesh. Shared mesh, I guess? All right, equals skin mesh. We're just going to go ahead and yoink this. Just like that, we have the shared mesh. So now, when we go ahead and run it, the bones should all collapse. Bro, I'm dead. Aw, it didn't work. Why didn't it work? Mesh collider. Okay, so there's a maximum polygon list. So for some reason, it's not colliding with the floor. Oh. The floor is 2D. No wonder. I wonder why my 3D mesh isn't colliding with the 2D ground. Really makes you wonder, huh? All right, in that case, let's see what adding a 2D thing does. So now what I need to do is, well, this can all stay the same, but the collider needs to be 2D. So this should be a mesh collider 2D. Mesh collider. Mesh collider. I guess sprite collider? Why can't they just have a collider? Collider 2D. What if I just type in 2D? Does not work. Okay. I'm not sure if this will work or not, but it might. And if it does, that'll be really funny. I don't know if this will work or not. Okay, so it doesn't like something. Null reference. Sorry, what? Bone mesh collider dot enabled equals false. Okay, it literally exists right here. Not sure why you're saying it's false. It doesn't exist. It clearly does. Oh wow, this one also has a problem. Why? No reason. Oh wait, it's probably the other skeleton. But that like doesn't it still doesn't explain why it doesn't let this exist. What? Let's see what's actually being affected. There is no mesh collider attached to bone jaw. So is bone jaw literally, is that the only problem? Huh. So there's nothing on bone jaw, but for some reason it's trying to access it. Well, maybe that's because I have bone jaw here. Wait, what? No, it should be working. So it should be putting in bone position 1, the second child, which is the first bone. What? I don't understand why it's not working. I don't understand how it could not see bone jaw. All right, what's the next OST I'm gonna put on? I'm gonna put on Pikmin Free. I'm gonna skip past the opening. I don't feel like listening to that. All right, so somehow it's not seeing bone jaw. Why is it not? I don't know, but it isn't. I legitimately have no idea why it could not see bone jaw. I mean, it has everything that every other bone has. It is quite literally nothing special. The skin mesh renderer. Question. Uh, I think I get it. Okay. I think the problem is pretty simple. The problem is that I'm trying to add a new collider, a 2D mesh collider, to something that is 3D, and to something that already has a skin mesh collider. As such, it's being confused and not actually doing what the hell I tell it to. Then it goes ahead and throws an error because it's not able to add the damn thing, and it's trying to access the thing that's not allowed to add, and so that it throws the error and just stops the start method. So it doesn't actually try to add anything for anything else, and that's why you're getting all these weird messages. Because of course I couldn't just add the stupid thing to the thing. What, you want to add a 2D thing to a 3D object? What are you, nuts? That's like why I wasn't able to add the 3D box collider to something that already has a 2D box collider. It just doesn't work that way. Unfortunately, that makes my life a lot harder, and I have to figure out a way around that. I'm not sure if I really want to do that tonight, though, honestly. I think I might be about done. So yeah, I think I'm going to end it off here. I'll deal with this problem next